Welcome, wonderful, wonderful people, to the Moon Magic Tarot channel. Thank you so much. Oh, there is card one already for reading one. Thank you so much for joining me for these spontaneous timeless readings. So this is a spontaneous reading. I'm just randomly uploading it because what I really felt called to do today was a series of readings. We are asking for guidance, spirit guidance today on how will this situation unfold? How's it going to pan out? What's going to happen? Can we receive guidance on how things are going to emerge for us? So whatever your situation, whatever you're seeking support or help with, and I think that's our third card, we are going to look into a question for you. So reading number one. Okay, reading number one, there is concern around lack. So this is the cards drawn. I will read you what it says as well in just a moment. Reading number two, you've done nothing wrong. Very powerful card. And reading number three, forgiveness of others. Now I'm going to also draw a rune and a charm to help to guide you into whichever reading is right for you. But I will read you what these cards say. So reading number one, listen to if this is really resonating and speaking with you. So the card of lack says, leading a spiritual life does not mean living in lack. This card asks you to release any underlying beliefs that you may hold regarding entitlement and worthiness that may be blocking your ability to receive. When you have an abundance of wealth, both inner and outer, you will have an abundance to give and share with others. So this has some connection to your question, how will your situation pan out? Will be kind of challenging some aspect of your belief around lack for yourself. This is very powerful, reading number two. You have done nothing wrong. Whatever has taken place was out of your control and out of your hands. This card asks you to let go of any feelings of guilt or personal blame. This was not your fault. You've done nothing wrong. This is the energy, the calling in for reading number two. Reading number three, forgiveness of others. Forgiveness does not mean that something bad that happened to us was okay. Forgiveness means that we choose to move beyond the experience and to release any ongoing need for retribution. In doing so, we no longer need to keep the memory of what happened alive within us. This choice reinstates our entitlement to be in charge of our own lives. So again, that's connected to reading number three. So we are asking Spirit for guidance today. How will your situation emerge? How will it unfold? What will happen? The rune for reading number one is the blank rune. Okay, so this is a space of possibility. Reading number two, the rune is the rune of journey. So you've done nothing wrong. Sometimes the rune of journey invites us to journey inwards. Sometimes it literally means we may physically be moving or traveling. Ooh, forgiveness of others. We have the rune of openings. This is new clarity of direction coming out of the fog. Now this may relate to the forgiveness of others, because if we think of coming out of the fog and seeing our direction clearly, fog, if you think of that as F-O-G, fear, obligation, guilt. Okay, so if you are moving through something that left you, the actions of somebody, or have left you feeling fear, obligation or guilt, and you want to know how to move forwards, how this situation will emerge, evolve, pan out, what will happen, then reading number three may be the reading for you. I'm going to draw a charm as well. Okay, so we have a little charm of the starfish coming out for reading one. I'm going to sit it on the rune. Okay, we have in the reading number two, we have the horseshoe. This is a lucky horseshoe. Okay, you've done nothing wrong. And in reading number three, we have two charms that have come out. We have the feather, and we also have a mermaid. This is about, I think, liberation, the freedom to swim, the freedom to be yourself, to be who you are. And the feather, again, real guidance from spirit, a real reinforcement of the message that's going to be coming through for you. So beautiful, wonderful friends, wonderful people. These are the 3 readings, and these are the cards, runes and charms to guide you. If you're not sure, press the pause button, listen to your intuition, and if more than one is speaking to you, just tune into that energy and listen to them both. I will put the timestamps in the information box below and in the comments for phone users. And yeah, I will see you in the readings. Tons and tons and tons of love. Welcome to reading number 1. So we have the card of lack, which is really inviting you to recognize that you do not have to hold any form of perspective of lack. Now, the blank rune invites a shift. It's like a space of possibility. It's both an ending and a beginning, sometimes like a little transitionary space of shift. And the starfish for me is always about finding renewed hope, renewed optimism, a pathway forwards. So let's draw a ton of cards and see what we are shown. Asking Spirit for guidance. How is number 1 readings situation going to unfold, pan out? What is going to happen? How is this going to unfold, emerge? We're going to draw from a variety of cards. Wow, Ace of Hearts, love. Oh, look at this. This is just magnificent. Okay, reading number 1. Look at this. Ace of Hearts, love. 5 of Trees, limitation. 6 of Hearts, the past. You are absolutely being asked to let go of any belief systems that are connected to lack. And this is really interesting because it's not just to do with wealth. It's to do with an abundance of everything. If you felt that you couldn't have, a beautiful relationship and a career, yes, you can. It's like let go of that perspective of limitation. This is time to recognize something from the past has caused you to see this. Maybe you grew up in an environment where the people around you were unhappy and it left you with a clear perspective that something just would never be possible for you. Maybe you were told it would not be possible for you. It's like those kind of, I've met so many people who maybe really took on board comments, or whether they were bullied, or comments from somebody at school that made them feel they would never be worthy or never be able to have what they desired, never be good enough. Yeah, look at this, the 7 of Swords. And the Empress. The Magician. Four of Swords. This is really interesting, having the 4 sitting under the 7. King of Swords under the Empress. And the Lovers. Ooh, love. I think for some of you this is actually to do with relationships. It's to do with love. It's to do with feeling that, you know those sort of things that go through your head when you're looking for love and you maybe haven't met the right person yet, and it's like, oh, the good ones are always taken, it'll never happen to me, all of that kind of stuff, or even maybe with your spiritual pathway, feeling like, you're not going to meet someone who will resonate with your own spiritual pathway. And this is really saying it's time to let go of any of those inner beliefs that have been holding you back. And we're asking for reading number 1, can we have further guidance here, really? Further guidance and information for reading number 1. How is this situation going to emerge? How is their situation going to work its way through? I see where this is coming from now. I see exactly where this is coming from now. Reading number 1. Okay. I do see exactly where this is coming from. I'm just going to leave these cards here, and we will... Gosh. What I see here in this card of... So for me, this is really speaking predominantly about relationship and about love and about intimacy and the way you were left feeling by someone who you cared very, very deeply about. Honestly, the relationship did not work out. You were left feeling so alone and so... and I'm really, really, really saddened for your experiences, reading number 1, because this was a love that you really wanted, you believed in it, you invested heavily. For some of you, it genuinely was a big parting, like an actual loss or a bereavement. For others, it was a parting of a relationship where somebody didn't really honor you, they didn't look after you, but it's left you feeling completely frozen in that space of where your heart just feels like you cannot possibly allow yourself to ever love again because you could not risk that. The card of rescue is beautiful because it's here to heal. You know, the 6 of Hearts, this is recognizing that it's time to let go of any belief in lack or any belief that says, if I enter another relationship, it will all go wrong again, or if I dare to risk loving somebody, it's bound to go wrong. This is like really throwing over those perspectives and those beliefs and saying, no, you don't have to live like that. You don't have to live with these perspectives at all. It's time to let go of them. It is time to connect with new hope and new possibility. Your situation here, I can see exactly where you've come from. It's like I'm being shown these past situations that are causing you to feel very anxious about investing in the past. For some of you, it's like there is the possibility of love on the horizon. There is the possibility somebody has maybe sparked your interest. There is a possibility of something that could be nurtured into being, but there's fear of going there. This fear of making the wrong decision, of it going wrong again. I can really, really see that energy here very, very clearly. You know, reading number 1, that the card of rescue tells us that you're never actually alone and that you can reach out and ask for help. So I can see really clearly what has taken place in the past. For some of you, it left you brokenhearted. You lost someone, or a relationship didn't work out. Now, I feel like you're at this pivotal point where whatever your situation is, it relates to some aspect of almost like daring to live again. You know, can you dare to take that risk? Can you dare to believe that the one thing that you always really wanted you could have? You know, can you actually allow yourself to embrace that possibility? You can always reach out, you can always ask for help. Now, the 7 of Swords is really interesting because with the 4 beneath it, it's really saying to you, you know, get still here. Let's kind of look at this situation almost sort of like a little bit more logically. Now, I'm not suggesting in any way that you shouldn't follow your heart, because that is always, always relevant to all of us. You know, we often connect to our mind and not our heart. But if you have been brokenhearted, if you've been hurt, kind of wounded or scarred by something, and you kind of really, really want to move forwards, there's an opportunity around you to overcome this, to embrace the newness of living life in love again. Actually, and there's definitely the energy to suggesting here that this is time to nurture yourself and allow yourself to believe in these new possibilities. We have the blank room, we have the Empress, the nurturing card of bringing something forth, bringing a new phase into your life, a new love into your life. So it's almost like your mind is going to have to take charge of your kind of heart and remind yourself that you're entitled to this. Get still, meditate, take charge of this. Okay, very, very useful to really recognize the power of our mind. And because new love is around for you, and you are entitled to have this. It's that alchemical moment when you know you deserve love. And this reading is saying this: you deserve love. Lack is not what you were designed for. This is not why you came here. This is not a time. This is a time to really take that risk and step into a space where you embrace love again. That's what we're really being shown here. I'm going to draw a couple more cards. I think we have space for a little bit more cards, just to ask a little bit more clarity around your situation. I do feel there is a window of opportunity around love, relationship, new beginnings in some way. And I feel like it involves a kind of the risk of daring to love again, and also of letting go of that fear of that emptiness, of that fear of hurt. And that is the possibility that seems to be coming through for you, reading number 1. Your situation involving some aspect of daring to risk love again in some way, shape or form. So let us ask and see whether Spirit will give any more guidance in how your situation is going to pan out. It feels for me really as if it is inviting you to override the thinking patterns that keep you in the deep freeze and say, it's time to move away from the past and to open that space of possibility. The guidance, the love, the care is always around you. But let us draw from, just see, I have a wonderful array of cards here. I'm going to just see which are really speaking to us, actually. I feel I'm going to draw from another tarot pack, actually. These are the Light Seers Tarot. Let's draw some more cards. We're asking, with reading number 1, how is this situation going to pan out? Oh, there is learning, there is guidance, there is a space of growth here, spiritual growth, and coming back into balance here for you. Ooh, and the Knight of Wands. Ooh. Okay, reading number 1, I'm feeling really very excited for you because I want to say that this new opportunity, this window of opportunity, which I believe is for new love for you, this is right for you. It is guided by your higher self. Okay, the conflict of the past needs to be laid to rest, or the hurt of the past, whether this was however you lost love, however the love broke down, whatever it left you in that deep freeze, whatever has impacted on you from the past, it is time to release that space of limitation. You are being guided now. This is a connection of higher guidance, and what I would say, it's almost like a relationship of purpose where you come together with purpose. So it's time to have your heart and your mind work in collaboration and to nurture, allow your mind to take charge and continually, you see, I think this relationship is one that will help to rebalance you. Look at this, the sun and the moon that we have here in this card. This is a relationship that will bring balance back into your world. The masculine, the divine feminine. It's a relationship of balance, of purpose, of higher guidance. It's also a relationship of joy. And, the Knight of Wands, this is a card that moves things forwards and quite quickly. And it's a card that very much celebrates life, passion, love. Taking a risk, stepping into the unknown, enjoying the journey, not trying to prescribe things through fear, but actually just embracing the newness of something. Reading number 1, I feel that this reading is very much about taking the risk. Your situation, I feel, is about relationship or taking a risk in daring to step into life again fully, to live, to love, to laugh. That is what this reading is speaking to me of huge new possibilities, the guidance of spirit into a space of new hope, new possibilities with, I do think for many, many of you, a new relationship that will repair and heal the sadness of the past. Coming together with purpose, with vibrancy, with passion, with aliveness. Reading number 1, I hope that this guidance is helpful for you, helps you to see how this relationship, this situation is going to pan out. We are seeing success, celebration, enjoyment, the release of the past and the renewal of trust and faith in love. Reading number 1, I just send you all the love in the world, every blessing possible for this new connection, this new opportunity for you. If this reading has really been helpful for you and you have enjoyed it, this is one of my timeless readings, so they go into a timeless playlist. We'll put the link in the information box below. And if you have enjoyed it, do please like, share, and if you wish to subscribe to this lovely, beautiful tarot community here, please do so. You are so, so welcome. I have a monthly prize draw every month where I give away a pack of these oracle cards and a free private reading as well. It's a subscriber offer, so yeah, if you want to get notification of any of my readings, do subscribe and press the little bell icon. They should come into your stream. And if you want to be on the subscriber email list, so you are then in my monthly prize draw forever once you're on that list. The link is in the information box below and in the comments for phone users. And reading number 1, this is magical. It is time to release this. Let your head override the fears. Remind yourself, let your head remind yourself that actually it's time for the new, and allow yourself to nurture yourself into this space of creation and possibility of new love. It is time for you to thrive. Just so much love to you. Welcome, reading number 2. So we are asking today how your situation is going to emerge, to pan out, what will happen. I feel reading number 2 as if, even though you have been quite challenged by something, your luck is about to turn. You know, this card says you've done nothing wrong. Whatever has taken place was out of your control and out of your hands. This card asks you to let go of any feelings of guilt or personal blame. This was not your fault. You've done nothing wrong. This is very, very powerful in this pack of cards. This really is one of the most clear speaking cards in the pack. Now, the Rune of Journey is very interesting because this can suggest traveling. It can suggest new pathways opening for you. It can also suggest journeying inwards to remove any obstacles from within that are in your way. So if there are feelings of guilt or something that you're needing to clarify, perhaps this reading will help with this. But let's draw from various packs of cards. We'll use a tarot pack first and see what Spirit is offering for reading number 2. It's quite a few cards there, but let's have a look and see. 2 of Angels, balance. 14, the acceptance, harmony. 20, the awakening, emergence. Oh, this is beautiful for a tree's growth. Yeah, your luck is changing. This is really, really clear. Reading number 2, it is time for you to let go of something that had knocked you off balance. Something you have. It's like you've gone, you know when something goes wrong, well, you guys, I think there's something in your situation. How is this going to emerge? There's something in your situation that really, it really had a very big impact on you. It knocked you off balance. It left you feeling as if you were responsible for something that was not your fault. A greater sense of responsibility, like a burden that was eating away at you, I think, really. And there's a call here to say, look, can you accept the responsibility of yourself, to know a responsibility to care for yourself and to acknowledge that you couldn't have done anything differently. Nothing you could have done would have changed the situation. You didn't do anything wrong. It was not your fault. Now, when we accept that this was out of our control, you relinquish the need to go over and over and over, and kind of, I feel like some of you have really, really, really beaten yourselves up over this. It's like it's taken up a lot of your head space and actually a lot of your heart space as well. Actually, it's time to put this down. This reading is very clear, very, very clear. It's time to emerge, to become awake again, and allow yourself to grow and flourish in your own right. Let's draw from another tarot pack. Okay. This is your first card and your second. Eight of Wands. Or reading number 2. This feels like your luck is turning. Look, bringing yourself back into balance. It's the end of a conflict. It's time to fire your arrows in a particular direction. It's time to give yourself the opportunity. And look at this, we have the Devil and the King of Swords. You know, for me, the Devil is a card of liberation. You know, sometimes it speaks of, in traditional packs, it speaks of addictions and of being tangled and tied to things. It's like the cords that tie us. And, you know, addictions and things come because some aspect of us got hurt, or we experienced a trauma. And so we get involved in, whether it's an addiction to a behavior pattern or a substance or something, whatever it is. It's, you know, it's actually a management system. It's a management of trauma. It's a management of the emotional residue of a situation. And you've done nothing wrong. It wasn't your fault. Now, your luck is going to turn. You are about to sail off into the future here. It's time to, and look at the water here. It's time to sail off. It is like literally time to set sail, a new awakening. The conflict is ending. Balance is coming back into your life. I'm going to draw more cards and ask Spirit to show us, you know, how is this balance coming back? Can we see what else is being shown here for reading number 2? But this is a card of, it's a time to liberate yourself and for you to find a clarity of direction again, a direction of your own that is right for you and is not connected to the past situation where you were left feeling as if you desperately felt that you could have tried to do something differently, or somebody even left you feeling like it was your fault. Well, it wasn't your fault. It's really, really clear here. Really, really clear. I'm going to draw from... I have so many beautiful cards here. I'm going to draw some oracle cards, actually, first of all, to see what we're shown. Look at this. Rescue. And the card of Peaks of Joy. I am just, this is just lovely. Reading number 2. So, look, this situation, it really is time. The key here is, you know, it's really truly time to let go of any kind of feelings of guilt or personal blame. This is so clear, it was not your fault. Your luck is about to change. There is a doorway of opening coming for you. There's an awakening, an emergence. It's time to invest in yourself, to reach out for help and know that you can reach out and receive. And look at this, Peaks of Joy. I mean, this is like you rising to the new heights. And we have this really beautiful imagery here in this card. I don't know if you can see, but look, as she reaches the Peaks of Joy, there is a butterfly. This is emergence again. It is time for you to release the past, emerge, and it's like sing and live and laugh and love. And do you know, these readings seem to be so full of an abundance of moving forwards and emerging into the light, into a space of joyfulness. Woo, very powerful readings. This is clear though, you have done nothing wrong. So reading number 2, I'm going to be asking Spirit for more guidance. How is your situation? Can we have more information about your situation? Can we see how this emergence is going to take place? What might be offered to you to support you, to show you the way? Let's have it's just one more card, I think, this one. Okay. Look at this. Look at this card sitting under emergence. Look at these trees, the investment of investing in yourself. 7 of Pentacles, nurture. What this is telling me, you know, as well, though, reading number 2, is I do think this circumstance, your situation, it left you feeling quite traumatized. And so what this reading is saying is, you know, you really, really do need to be kind to yourself, because I think you've probably been quite unkind to yourself, giving yourself a really tough time. I mean, look at this. We have Page of Swords. This is learning a new way of being. Wow, the Star, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. Beautiful. Beautiful energy here. Lovely, lovely cards for this reading number 2. So the key here in how your situation will emerge. You are being asked to genuinely accept that you did nothing wrong and it was not your fault, to wholeheartedly take an ownership of this. Your luck is about to turn. There's going to be an opportunity, I think, here for you to come back into balance. Now, I want to say fire your arrow clear and true. And invest in yourself. I feel like you guys have, there is something on your horizon, something in your situation that has sparked your interest, or given you like a little light bulb moment where you've thought, oh, I'd like to do that. Or, you know, whether that's like after, if this was connected to a relationship, whether it's like, actually, I really feel I'd like to potentially meet that someone, or you've met someone and they've sparked your interest, whether it's to do with a career pathway or a creative project, whatever it is in your world, something I think has sparked your interest. There's something like a little goal or a, oh, I would quite like that. And yet your inner dialogue, I think, has been saying, oh, well, you can't really have that, you know, because of. It's time to realign yourself, rebalance. That is in the past. The conflict is over. Cut the cords that bind you. Let go of those things that you, even some of you, for some of you, the coping strategies that have just been management systems, it's time to release them. It's time to take charge of your own direction again. Nurture your idea, your desire, your relationship, your creative project, whatever it is. And reach out for help. It's really cool to ask for help. You know, there may be some more learning to do here. You may even want to go off in a particular direction, and you know, but it's investing in this, whatever it is that has sparked your idea or has given you that like light at the end of the tunnel, or that little spark of something that makes you think, gosh, I don't want to live like this anymore. Yeah, it's now time to embrace that, invest in it, choose that light, choose that spark, choose that opportunity, go with that light bulb moment. New hope is coming, and really, really go for it and invest in it. I mean, this is literally saying to you, in whatever the situation is for you, this is a reading we are asking about, how will my situation pan out? Guidance as to what to do. Reading number 2, beautiful reading number 2, people. This reading and the guidance is saying to you, go for it, invest, don't hold back. This is a time to say, I want to do this, I will nurture this, I will nurture myself, and I am prepared to invest in this, and I am prepared to move this forwards because, you know, because I'm worth this. Okay, this is, look at this Knight of Pentacles walking up, this Lion of Pentacles walking up towards the peaks of joy, the transformation. And the Hanged Man is a card of new, it's like new dawning, new light. The pathway becomes clear to you. You see the transformation. In this traditionally the mythology, the story of the Hanged Man, the card of the Hanged Man in the tarot, is to do with Odin and the runes. I mean, we have the rune of journey. It's a new journey awaiting you, literally a new chapter of your life, full of hope, and the luck is turning. In that mythology or that story, Odin was hanging upside down in a tree, and he looked down and he saw the symbols made out of the twigs and the bones lying on the earth beneath him. And they were the runes, and he realized that they were communicating and giving him messages. They were symbols. And it is interesting, look, we have, curiously enough, as we look at the runes, the one in the center here is the rune of journey. This is the rune of separation, Othilla. This is the rune of journey. This is the rune of initiation. They are moving in a pathway. There's been disruption. It's time to separate and leave something behind. The rune of journey, a new chapter unfolds. The initiation of the new. Gateway, the rune of gateway, a new phase of possibility, and the rune of the self as we move through this circle. So, magical opportunities. Reading number 2, this reading is saying to you, go for it. Reach for the heights. Aim true. Whatever has sparked your interest in your situation, whoever has sparked your interest, whoever it is that has turned that light bulb on for you, whatever it is, whatever has evoked the light, the passion, the desire, it is now time for you to embrace and nurture that and go for it. Set your sights on exactly what you want. The conflict is behind you. Release yourself from any aspect of guilt or personal blame. It was not your fault. You did nothing wrong. Absolutely. As this card says, this was not your fault. You've done nothing wrong. It is time for your luck to change, to invest fully in your pathway forwards and in a new phase of life, which is going to peak with joy. Beautiful, beautiful reading. Reading number 2. I feel like my heart is swelling. It's really interesting. I really feel that it's like literally physically I'm feeling it. It's very beautiful. And you can always reach out and ask for help. This is very interesting because I just show you the imagery in this card as well, reading number 2. This balloon, you can see someone, there's a telescope looking back. It's very interesting because in reverse, this card actually speaks of, of rescuing people. I think this card is also saying, look, you could not rescue the situation. Okay? If you look back on it, you'll realize you could, and this reading is really speaking to you with guidance that says, look, you could not have changed a thing. You could not have changed anything. It was what it was, and there was nothing that you could do. So, embrace the new. Aim high. Be pure, clear, dedicated in your conviction and your dedication to yourself and your new pathway. Whoever and whatever has sparked your interest, it is time to leap into that space of absolute, pure, full-on investment and go for what it is that you currently are desiring and seeing in whatever your situation is. Your journey will unfold. Reading number 2, I cannot send you more love possible. And what else can I say? Guys, if you have enjoyed this reading, if it's resonated and it's working for you and speaking to you, and you'd like to get notification of any of my readings as I post them, if you press subscribe and a little bell icon, they should come through to you. And if you want to be in my monthly subscriber prize draw, I give away a free private reading and also a pack of these oracle cards too. There's a subscriber offer email list in the information box along with the timestamps and things. And thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your likes, your shares, and truly, reading number 2, your pathway is opening up. Your luck is turning. It is time to move forwards. And let this, just let that go. It was never your fault. Tons of love to you. Welcome, reading number 3. You have the card and been drawn by the card, Forgiveness of Others. The rune of openings, this is the removal of fear, obligation, guilt, finding new direction, new clarity. And we have a feather, which feels there's very much a lot of guidance. And for me, what came through as well with the mermaid, it felt as though it was, it's time to be yourself in some way. Be true to yourself. Literally kind of follow your own, something about your own individuality within your situation. So today we are asking, how will your situation pan out? Can Spirit support and give us guidance? How will reading number 3's situation emerge, evolve, pan out? What is going to be shown for reading number 3? Okay, so 8 of Angels, confusion. Oh, and lovely. I went, oh, confusion. Oh, okay, clarification, that's good. 8 of Angels, 3 of Angels. Whatever confusion you're feeling, this is going to lift, okay? You are going to get clear. This is the rune of clarity, the rune of openings. There's no question. Clarity is going to come to you. Ace of Stars, creation. And this is going to bring about an opportunity for new beginnings. Okay, so we're going to ask for much, much more guidance here, reading number 3. How do you find your clarification? How is this going to come to reading number 3? How are they going to navigate the discovery of this new window of opportunity, this openings, this clarity, peace of mind? Let's draw from an oracle pack here. Okay. Ooh. So I'm going to place these here, I think. So we're going to draw more than one card from these. Okay, this is where you're coming from, the dry desert. Riding the waves. If you think about it, reading number 3. The stuff that is challenging for us is very often emotions. Now, for those of you that are new to me and my readings and the Moon Magic Tarot channel, I worked as an accredited counsellor for over 28 years. And now my work is just really more spiritually orientated. But I have a whole library online. There's a link to it in the information box below, and I'll put it in the comments for phone users too. It's the www.azemotionalhealth.com. As I came out of my full-time therapeutic practice, these cards are speaking, I created the library. It's full of stuff that helps you to learn to navigate your emotions, to ride the waves. Understanding your emotions as a source of empowerment, and not something that is a constant hindrance. I feel you guys have, the dry desert is really where you've come from, and it's now time to almost emerge from that. I'd say emotional confusion. Okay, so we have the card of listening, and we have the card of coming together. Okay, this is really very, very lovely. There's real opportunity here. This is a time for you to listen. Do you know, above and beyond anything, actually listen to yourself. That's what's really coming through here. So let's just tune back in with this main first card. Forgiveness does not mean that something bad that happened to us was okay. Forgiveness means that we choose to move beyond the experience and to release any ongoing need for retribution. In doing so, we no longer need to keep the memory of what happened alive within us. This choice reinstates our entitlement to be in charge of our own lives. I'm just going to put the mermaid on this card of Ride the Waves, because I feel this is really, really relevant. And actually what we have here, I don't know if you can see this, but I think that is a little mermaid riding the dolphin here, actually. So I feel like, look, something, this is the past here, and I can see that something that happened to you was really, really not okay. You were treated badly by somebody, And reading number 3, I really, truly, I feel for you, because it leaves emotional scars. You know, the physical, anyone will tell you if they have experienced any major challenges, physical scars will heal, but the emotional ones remain. Now, when we go back over and over in our mind, feeling like, could we have done something differently? Was it our fault? Or just in anger with the other person, the chances are, I hate to say it, but you know, the majority of people who don't treat others very well, they don't stop and worry about whether they hurt you. They just move on into the world, and you're the one that's left feeling like, you know, with the emotional stuff that's left behind. And I really feel for you, but this is a time for you to deep dive into your emotions and listen to yourself and your internal dialogue. And allow yourself, it's really interesting, to come together now. This may have, will draw more guidance here for your situations. But I feel like the key here is, in fact, 2 very clear messages coming through. So I will try and voice them both for you, and we will draw cards, more cards for clarification too. But for some of you, this is something very big that happened in the past. This is one of the messages coming through. And you're still going over and over the stuff of the past. And it's been holding you back. It's taking up too much of your airplay in your head. And it's constantly evoking a strong emotional response that keeps you tangled in the situation. And for you, the listening is literally about listening to that internal dialogue and resetting yourself and your own vibration. And the coming back together for you guys for this message is to do with literally when we are traumatized. It is as though, I think, it's almost like our soul fragments. I think that happens in any form of abuse. Our soul kind of fragments, and it's almost like bits of the soul kind of almost safely retreat somewhere else. You know, in psychotherapy, we call it like when people kind of fragment, or you know, we think about people having a breakdown. And it's like parts of our soul evacuate the burning building. And it's actually about self-preservation. And there comes a time when to heal, we need to invite those pieces of the soul back to join us. So we become complete, we come back together. And in that completeness, we can move forwards. So that is one of the messages. Another message is that something more relatively recent has happened for some of you. And you're struggling to kind of almost like get over that. It's left you feeling confused, and you know, you've been unclear. And for you guys, I have to say, I think that if something recent has happened, it may have pressed some buttons and tapped into some historical stuff. But it's kind of time to ride the waves, to listen and get a more balanced perspective, get clear about the situation, because I think it possibly has pressed a few buttons, triggered some stuff from the past, which means you're not necessarily seeing the current situation with clarity. If you pause and listen, there will be space for forgiveness and to recognize that you know somebody else is on their own journey. And for some of you, I don't think the person relatively recently meant to cause you damage. It may have niggled the scar tissue, and it may have niggled theirs as well. And there is actually opportunity for a coming back together for you in that situation. So reading number 3, those are 2 messages that have come through very clearly. And we're going to draw more cards and ask for more guidance. We're going to move now to the tarot. So we're asking for guidance. How will the situation of reading number 3 pan out? Okay, so we have the 7 of discs. Oh, it's going to move forwards quite quickly. It's going to move forwards quite quickly. Yes. Yes, reading number 3. This is going to emerge. Yes. And the clarity of direction is going to come. Okay. There's a choice is needed here. It's almost like a conscious choice. You know, with the 7 of discs, yeah, I do feel that there's opportunity, choices available to you, decisions to be made. Nurture is required. I can see that for some of you, it does feel like a difficult choice or a difficult decision, but it is interesting. The decision is, I think, it's like you're the one. It's really interesting. I think that the decision sits in your hands more than, if it's recent in the hands of the other person. The choice is actually yours and about you deciding, how you're going to aim true and clear and invest in yourself, because there's been a conflict. I can really see this conflict. There's a dilemma here around for you. With the card of strength. Four of Wands. Princess of Cups. Four of Swords. And King of Swords. Really interesting. This card has come up, I think, in every reading. Okay, so reading number 3. Our story unfolds. So that there is a decision to be made here. Now, for some of you, it's a very clear choice to put the conflict behind you and to give yourself the right and entitlement. This comes through in these readings actually very strongly, to give yourself permission to live, to love, to laugh again. Very powerful readings, really, in terms of your situations emerging. You've come through a very barren period here. You were left really with something that, whatever, even if it's a current situation, it's really pressed your buttons. It's caused you to look. There's been a lot of looking back, and it's the looking back that's caused the confusion. It's like, how do you release the past, the conflict of the past? But it's about embracing your choices again, coming back together within you, your own pathway of wholeness. Listening to yourself and also listening to others. Just as if this is a relatively recent situation, then just as your buttons have been pressed, I think so have the other person's. Just as you have maybe reacted in quite a strong way, they may also be reacting in a strong way. Indeed, their behavior towards you may have been a reaction that connected to the past. And there's something about putting this behind you here. Being able to consider the situation, to move forwards from a position of mindfulness. I mean, it's really interesting, but our history is very much our strength, really. What I love here we have is the 8 of Wands, the 4 of Wands. This is a celebration, the coming back together. The celebration and the clarity coming through, the clear mind, the clear mindset. So this is your situation, reading number 3. I think it's interesting because it's kind of slightly saying, look, you have a choice in this, but you are being offered guidance by Spirit to say, look, you can actually let this go now. It doesn't have to follow you around. It doesn't have to be a ball and chain. There's learning to be gained here. You don't have to carry the conflict with you. You can create a space of new beginnings where you yourself become whole and come back together, or indeed you and another person come back together. But the conflict is over. It requires you to have a clear mindset about what you want. But your strength is in the learning, and this is going to move forwards. I think this is going to move forwards very quickly for you, reading number 3. It's almost like the moment you make that decision, the moment you say, I'm leaving that conflict behind, I don't want to do this anymore, it's like suddenly this is just going to start to unfold. It's going to start to shift. The energy will shift. Yes, I think there'll be some strong emotions. What you're going to get are some waves of emotions coming through. Because that's kind of what happens. For anyone that checks out the library, there's a a section in the library called The Psychology of Emotions. And there are 2 audios in that section. One is called the Wobble of Change, and the other is called The Sadness of Moving Forwards. And both of them talk about the emotional experience of transition. So even when we are moving forwards and we're letting something go and we're moving ahead, and the change is what we really, really, really want. Above and beyond anything, we want that change. But even when we want that change, we inevitably wobble because we're stepping into the unknown. And we also, interestingly enough, feel sadness even when we get exactly the thing that we wanted. We then struggle with an underlying element of sadness because we're sort of grieving for what didn't work out, or for the years that we lived without the thing that we wanted. So these are really powerful emotions, and this reading is inviting you to listen to your emotions and understand them as a source of empowerment and a way of opening windows of opportunity for yourself. There's celebration here. There's clarity of direction, celebration, a clear pathway forwards here for you. I'm going to draw from another tarot. Beautiful reading number 3, people. Oh, look at this. Ace of Wands. New beginnings, new clarity of thought, new passion. And the wheel. The wheel is turning. This is a time to release the past. Whatever your situation is, this reading, reading number 3, this reading is suggesting, and the guidance coming through from Spirit is really almost like wanting to give you permission to move forwards, to give you permission and saying, look, the moment you make a decision to let this go, and it's not forgetting, it's not saying that what happened was okay. It's saying, do you know what? I'm not going to let that govern my life anymore. I'm worth more than that. That is in the past. I have grown from it. Even through adversity, here I am. I'm a survivor. I'm here. I've been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. I'm not wearing that one anymore. And on you move. You listen to your emotions as a source of empowerment rather than a source of hindrance. You ride the waves as they come through, and this space of creation and possibility comes through. You will be celebrating. You will be gaining clear direction. You will know where you want to go, and the wheel will turn and shift forwards. So very, very clear reading as to how your situation is going to emerge. This is a turning point for you, reading number 3, and that is the information coming through from Spirit. It is very much about giving you permission to validate what happened and know that it's a total bummer that it did. But now it's time to move forwards and embrace everything that can be celebrated in your life and the new direction that you deserve. The wheel is turning. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful reading number 3. If this reading has resonated with you, and this is a timeless reading, so we can tune in with these kinds of readings at any time in our lives, and I put them into a timeless playlist. The link is below. So if you have other kind of questions that you want to ask, you may find some other relevant videos. I'm just beginning to really build that playlist. I've really started it quite recently. These are spontaneous readings as well. So if you would like to get notification of any of my readings as I upload them, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon, they should come into your stream. I post every single Sunday with weekly guidance from Spirit. I have a monthly prize draw where I give away a free private reading and a pack of these oracle cards as well. That's a subscriber offer. So if you are subscribing, you can add yourself to my subscriber email list, and then my colleague takes a name out of the hat, or 2 names, for the private reading and cards every month. And I announce those winners after one of the Sunday readings. So beautiful, beautiful reading number 3, people who are, I think, ready to be liberated from the past and find a clarity of renewed direction, passion, desire, aliveness coming through to you. I just cannot wish you, I just wish you so much love and so much opportunity for, an entire new phase of life where you are no longer held back by the past. because, you know, it can be so inhibiting. Do check out the library as well. It's a completely free resource and always will be. You know, it's a whole library full of stuff. So do check that out if that's relevant to you. And yeah, reading number 3, just tons and tons and tons of love. And I look forward to seeing you for other readings. And guys, thank you as well for your likes and your shares and your comments. So much love to you.